Want to learn how to get a business analyst job? What a business analyst job description is in the first place, business analyst salary, business analyst interview questions, how to put together a business analyst resume, and overall how to become a business analyst. So what is a business analyst? So question 8 that you might hear during a business analyst interview and how to answer it would be, how do you adapt to changing business requirements and evolving project priorities? So a good answer to this would be, adaptability is a key strength of mine. When faced with changing business requirements or evolving priorities, I employ a proactive approach, stay updated on industry trends, and remain flexible in my approach to analysis. I actively communicate with stakeholders to understand their evolving needs and align my work accordingly. By quickly grasping new concepts and efficiently adjusting project priorities, I ensure that the project remains on track and aligned with changing business requirements. Again, all kinds of good stuff in this answer. So one is, again, this candidate is answering with a one-word answer that just hits the nail on the head for this question. So how do you adapt to changing requirements and project priorities? Adaptability is a key strength of mine. Adaptability. They start with the word that was in the question. So it's showing as a candidate that, number one, you're paying attention. Number two, you care about the question. And number 3, you're showing that it's a strength of yours, and then you go into detail about how you've demonstrated this strength in the past, how you communicate among internal and external stakeholders. You show that you're a quick learner with examples. So again, a great answer here. What would be an example of a bad answer? Something like this. Changing requirements and project priorities can be challenging. I usually just follow instructions from my supervisor without questioning or adapting too much. Why is this a bad answer? Business analysts adapt all the time if you're a good business analyst. So adaptability is not something that you can shirk off in this role and expect to do well. So yes, changing requirements and project priorities can be challenging. That's a factual statement that isn't contentious. And if they started off that way and went in a positive direction, I'd be fine with that answer as a hiring manager. But again, I'm going to rely on my supervisor thing is just not a good look during a business analyst interview and during interviews, frankly, for many other roles as well, because you're showing that you're not proactive and you're showing that you always need help rather than taking the bull by the horns and leading customers through to a solution yourself. Question number 9 that you might hear during a business analyst interview, and the answer is the following. Can you provide an example of a time when you demonstrated excellent problem-solving skills as a business analyst? If you've watched my previous videos, you know about the importance of problem-solving as a skill for a business analyst, and here's what a great answer to something like this might be. Sure, in a previous project, we encountered a complex issue where the current system was unable to handle a large volume of customer data during peak hours, leading to performance degradation. Here's how I solved it. I conducted a thorough analysis of the system's architecture, identified the bottleneck, and I proposed a solution that involved optimizing their database queries and implementing caching mechanisms. I then collaborated with the development team, provided clear documentation, and oversaw the whole implementation process. As a result, we successfully improved system performance by 50%, ensuring a seamless customer experience even during peak periods. Why is this a good answer? So this candidate goes directly into previous project experience, talks about what the problem is, talked about how he or she solved the problem, both from a technical point of view and from a business collaboration point of view, and then went into the return on investment of these efforts, emphasizing the 50% because it's such a huge number, and also emphasizing that this candidate oversaw the whole process. So 5 or 6 different great things in that answer. So if you've stuck with me this far through the video, I hope you're getting some great value and want to be notified every time I drop the next piece of training in this series. Go ahead and subscribe to How to Be a Business Analyst below and click that bell button for all notifications. Once you've done that, drop me a comment in the comments below letting me know that you subscribed, and I'll go ahead and try to answer all of those comments personally. Here's an example of a bad answer. I haven't really faced any major problems that required exceptional problem-solving skills. I usually just follow the standard procedures and guidelines. So you may be able to get a really entry-level business analyst position, maybe the first of your career with this answer, but not one of any sort of tenure at all. If you haven't faced any problems that require exceptional problem solving, you probably should not be pursuing a career in business analysis. It's just not a good fit. And then finally, question 10, do you have any experience working in cross-functional teams? So in my career, this is really common. Business analysts work with a variety of other teams: the support team, the R&D team, product management, project managers, marketing, sales teams. So it's something that's really required of a business analyst and something that a great business analyst will thrive in. So a good answer would be absolutely. Throughout my career, I have actively collaborated cross-functionally to achieve project success. For instance, in a recent project focused on developing a new e-commerce platform, I worked closely with stakeholders from different departments, including IT, marketing, and operations. I facilitated productive meetings, ensured effective communication channels, and encouraged collaborative decision-making. By fostering a cohesive team environment and leveraging the diverse expertise of team members, we successfully delivered a solution that met the requirements and exceeded the customer expectations. A great answer there for all the reasons that I mentioned before. Here's a bad answer. I have worked mostly independently and I haven't had much experience collaborating with cross-functional teams. Now, a company who's in a bind, maybe they've had a lot of turnover in their business analyst team and will take pretty much any candidate at this point, might be okay with this, but I really, as a hiring manager, need to hear some degree of cross-functional work from a business analyst candidate. It doesn't have to be as extensive as what me and my teammates have seen in our careers, but something. Like, you can't work in a silo and be an effective business analyst. So as I go through providing all this detailed knowledge for you on this channel based on my years of experience, I didn't want all these videos scattered all around to get away from you, so I decided to create a mini course that provides a checklist of 10 essential skills any aspiring business analyst needs to know, and I decided to provide it to you for free. So check the description below on 10 essential skills any aspiring business analyst needs to know. Click that link in the description below and grab your free digital download. Enjoy. And so I told you that if you stuck through to the end of the video, I'd give you a few more bonus questions that you might hear during interviews, and they're ones that I've asked over the years, so this is why I know that they're legitimate. And so question 11, I'll call it, would be, have you worked with hands-on development of contact, like creating dashboards? And if so, which business intelligence tools did you use? So lots of business analyst roles require not only requirements gathering and documentation anymore, but they really have a heavy technical component to them. Definitely the roles that I've been in. And so you want to show that you've worked with trending tools like Tableau or Google Data Studio, which is now called Google Looker, or Power BI, or things like this to visualize data. These are all good answers. And you want to give examples of some dashboards that you've built and what they did, what the requirement was, and what kind of dashboard with which visualizations you created, maybe visualizations that you avoided because they would be too confusing to the end users, things like that. Look for best practices that you used and communicate those. A bad answer would be no hands-on development or configuration experience. So again, business analysts today are expected to work in both business and technical realms and not to be solely keepers of requirements. Question 12, so your next bonus would be, tell me something about how testing works on your projects and what your involvement is. From a candidate's point of view, you want to be able to speak in detail about either agile methodologies or waterfall methodologies and how you were involved in either one. If you were in a waterfall methodology specifically, there's going to be a defined testing phase. And so as a hiring manager, I'd want to know, did you test your own work? Did you have peer testing? Did you have a quality assurance team that did all the testing for you and you never touched it? So more involvement, the better for a business analyst here. A good answer would be something like this. Yes, I had hands-on creation of testing templates. I worked on triaging any issues that came in from the customer, and I was guiding the customer through a framework of ensuring full test coverage, including iterative resolution while controlling the scope. So this is a great answer here. A bad answer would be the QA team handled it all for me in a silo. I mean, even if this is true, there should be cross-functional collaboration and proactivity. You should be working with that QA team who's doing all the work to gather their status, their progress, adjust their understanding of any requirements that might not be clear for them. And I have two more bonus questions for you. Number 13 would be, what was your contribution to documentation and what kinds of documents did you create? Did you work from scratch? from templates or just read or tweak someone else's documents. So templates are fine. I'm not, as a hiring manager, demanding that you're creating documents from scratch. In fact, templates show that you're smarter in many ways. But working with someone else's documentation and never creating anything of your own, whether it be from scratch or from a template, is kind of a no-go for me when I'm interviewing a business analyst. If you've never done any kind of documentation, whether it be requirements documents, technical specifications, testing documents, user manuals, any of those will suffice, right? One or two of those would be fine. I don't need a candidate to have all of them, but again, business analyst candidates looking for a business analyst job or transitioning into a business analyst career need to have experience with the relevant types of documentation. And then I alluded to this one a bit earlier, but your last bonus question would be something like this. How do you feel about a role with a set of responsibilities that evolve over time? Some people are comfortable with evolving challenges, and others have an expectation that the job tasks shared during the interview process should never change. One isn't bad and one isn't good. It's just an expectation thing. So given the cross-functional nature of the business analyst role, there should be an expectation that the job duties will evolve over time in this role, right? And again, it's not a bad thing if you expect something different. It just might be that a different sort of role within the organization or a different organization might just be a better fit for you. And again, as a business analyst, job duties do tend to evolve over time because of its cross-functional nature. And hopefully in that process, you take it as a positive. It presents you with new opportunities to conquer, an opportunity to maybe even grow in the role. And there you have it, aspiring business analyst. We've covered the top 10 questions commonly asked in business analyst interviews, providing you with examples of both good and bad answers, and probably about 7 bonus ones if I was keeping count. So I hope you stuck through all the way through the video to listen to all 17 of them that I provided for you, and I hope they really help you in your preparation process for business analyst interview. By mastering these questions and delivering compelling responses, you'll be well on your way to acing your business analyst interviews. Good luck. Thanks again for joining us today, and if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more valuable content on business analysis and career development. Stay tuned for my next video where we'll delve into advanced techniques for business analysis. Until then, keep mastering your skills and achieving your goals. We'll see you next time.